Yes?
Oh shit.
Alright, this is the sanctum. It's a place of silence and prayer, and also where we'll be exalted later.
Let's hope he knows what he's doing.
Pathlessness,
Wherever you look.
My glimmer at the horizon.
Now, where did I...
Thy name is my sacrament, and thy path I will honor, in life as in death.
Fucking sissy.
As if they'd ever listen to me.
Okay, I think you've seen this place before. We call this part of the temple the Chronicum, and in here is gathered the knowledge of the Order, written down in books and parchments. Plus, all of the experiments and research on artifacts and magic is done here. So it's a place you'll probably see often in the near future. Ah, and just below the Chronicum is the temple smithy. You should go there if you need equipment. Over there, that's the Scuola and the quarters, where both the keepers and... offices live. There's also a training room where everything from swordplay to marksmanship can be trained and taught. You will find some skilled teachers there. Well, I think that's about it. You've already been to the Emporium, and I assume to the Eye of the Gods as well. I suggest you speak to the Grandmaster as soon as you're ready to take the oath. Prepare myself, probably. Now walk blessed. I will see you soon.
Honestly, I don't know what to think of all this. She's here in the temple. Malthus bless the Grandmaster, but...
And you actually believe this could work? It sounds absurd.
Who are you?
The mercenary, he might not be the shining knight of Castle Starsound, but he's better than most of your men. I want him, and you will need to convince your Truchessa of it.
Is that so? Very well, I will convince her. You will hear from me.
I hope so. Well, look at that. You've actually survived the pointless test. Let's hope those ignorant fools will treat you with more respect than us heretics, although I truly doubt it. Quite some questions you're asking there, lad. But why not? You're not one of those god lambs, so where's the harm in telling you? Yes, the Lightborn are dead, killed by the Shadowborn. But truth be told, too little has changed for us to feel any different. If that makes sense. Yes, but that's because the Lightborn have left a power vacuum, and everybody feels obliged to fill it himself. Plus, there's the cycle, which seems to drive people into violence. I'm talking about grand-scale changes, such as in the way we think. To know that gods can be killed, that there is no other power in life than life itself. That has to do something with people, doesn't it? Well, bullshit. Just look around Enderal. The most religious country of all. And yet, people act as if nothing has happened. All it needs is some fancily dressed up clergyman to tell them that the rumors are false. And they swallow it like mulled wine and go on about their business. It's depressing. Well, I've been thinking about that. I suppose it's because the Lightborn's reign has always lived from people believing them to be divine, rather than actually being it. If that makes sense. They're more like symbols. Regret? Far from it. The gods were tyrants, and they robbed mankind of their right to self-determination. Regardless of the consequences, what we enabled the Shadow God to do was the right thing to do. Oh, that's hard to tell. Most of the time I was with Narathzul's order in the Kabet Mountains. But when I was younger, I used to travel a lot, not only in Nerim. What about you? Which idiots did you have the misfortune to be raised by? The foolhardy rebels up north? The bootlicking poor? A beautiful piece of earth. Truth be told, I was a young... I had heard a lot about Nerim South, and imagined a place. But you know who greeted me when I reached the city? Corpses. It was a and that's not big. But philosophy and freedom of thought are nowhere to be found. On the one, but if what is really, if you blazes, yes, respect those around you, especially if people don't keep to themselves with it.
Prophet, good to see you. How do you feel? Good. I never doubted you would pass the test. In any case, all that is left to do now is to recite the oath. Then we will finally deal with the more urgent matters. None of it, you'll see. The ceremony needs a little preparation. Even if it hurts to lose more time, the cleansing approaches. I can feel it. Just this night I had another of the dreams. People I knew, including you. But these people weren't themselves. There was something else, and it spoke through them. They mocked us and said our struggle against the cycle was pointless. I believe that these beings are connected to the cycle. They must be the ones who cause it. You did? That is interesting. It must be related to our roles as emissaries. Maybe there is a connection between us. None. Maybe they are demons or magical entities of some kind, but they are different from everything I know. In any case, if they are indeed responsible for the cycle, they are our enemies. That's what matters for now. Come back tomorrow for the ceremony. Yes? That depends on whom you ask. In some writings of the Pyreans, we are referred to as chosen ones. But this is wrong. A better word would be chess figures with their own will. Whatever force causes the cycle also gave us powers and a task. But fulfilling that task is our own responsibility. No. Well, that is something else we only know in broad strokes. It is my task to lead mankind in its battle against the cleansing, to rally our strengths, so to speak. Yours is to read the Echo and help us gain the knowledge we need for victory. How exactly you're going to do that is something we still have to find out. I do not know, but there are hints. We will see. Good question. In their writing, the Pyreans say it has existed for aeons. Since this world exists, since the Sea of Eventualities exists, so too then does the cycle. It seems to be a part of existence, so to speak. The Pyreans didn't, and neither did the dozen civilizations that came before them. That is what we know. But as for what happened before that, our knowledge about the past is limited. All that matters for now is that the cycle threatens us, and that we have to stop it. Walk blessed, Prophet. Yes? As I said before, my knowledge about that is limited. But if it helps you, imagine that it is a way of perceiving that which connects us all, our subconscious. Yes. You know, most people perceive themselves as an entity separate from the rest of the world. And while this is partially true, there is something that connects us. Dark corners of our mind, bridges to which we in a conscious state do not have access to. But you do not need to be supernaturally gifted to feel that these bridges exist. I am sure you have experienced it yourself at one time or another. A moment where you knew exactly what another person thought or would do next. People with close blood ties can especially feel that connection. Children and their mothers, siblings, and especially twins. Correct. And while most people hardly feel this connection at all, as if looking through a tinted window, to you, it is wide open during your visions.
Where is this supposed to lead?
Their bodies might be, but the traces they left behind still remain. Everything that was, everything that is, and everything that will be, it already exists in the Sea of Eventualities. This is the basic principle of magic. And time is not a straight line. Only the barriers of our mind make us perceive it as such. Visions, premonitions, dreams that become reality. These are all leftovers of waves from other eventualities that spill over into our reality. There have always been people able to read them, but none so good at it as you are, thanks to the Echo. Yes. Yes. Why do you ask? They did. What are you getting at? A fair point. But in the future, just be upfront. I do not like such veiled remarks. So, yes, my time in the prison was harsh. The hunger, the degradation, to name the most obvious. The worst, however, was the isolation. Ironically enough, that was the last thing I had expected, you know. From all the suffering there is, it seems so banal. But it isn't. You either find ways to cope with it, or it breaks you. Fortunately, I managed to do the former. For me, it was memories of the time before my incarceration, the prospect of what would come after it. They were my window into the outer world, so to speak. They reminded me that I was more than this deprived creature I had become in those dungeons. Strange. Everything seemed too bright, too unreal. I especially felt that in the cloister with Narazul's mages. I had difficulty talking to other people, and whenever I did, it felt as if the others were like wax figures. Like some cruel joke put in front of my eyes in order to mock me. Better. Our mission, my responsibility here as a leader, it has helped me to find my way back into the real world. What would have been the alternative? A life as a fisherman? If the things I had to live through taught me one thing, then it was how important it is for me to be right here, right now, doing what I do. In fact, this is precisely what is missing in the world. People who do not let the whims of fate break their resolve. Now, enough of this. We have business to attend to.
Here, a letter for you. What? Oh, that's very generous of you. Thank you. Safe travel.
It is time. Come forward, Prophet. I know what you are feeling. Mistrust. For it is the first time in the history of the Order that a stranger will receive the holy consecration. You consider it a treason against our charter, and therefore against us all. And indeed, it is true that traditions have strengthened the Order. We have ruled this land for millennia, and for millennia we have prevailed. And I know that what happened 2 years ago has unsettled you. Yes, we are in a crisis. Yes, our foundation seems to be shattered. And now you believe that I profane even what little is left by consecrating a pathless one. But you are wrong. It was always people who have given strength to the Order. People like you and me. Yes, we did serve the Lightborn, but because they embodied an idea. The idea of peace through stability. And even now, after their demise, we will pursue this idea. We are facing a threat that endangers the world as we know it. And to fight it, we need one thing above all others, the readiness to make sacrifices for the greater good. This man, like Novice Sakarish, has shown this readiness. He is talented and has a gift, and thus carries responsibility. But instead of running from this responsibility, he faced it and found us. Consecrated ones, repeat my words. This is the day when my old me dies away. For today, I receive the sigil.
This is the day when my old me dies away. For today I receive the sigil.
From now on, I live to protect, by sword and mind, the path, my land, and those who are without strength.
From now on, I live to protect, by sword and mind, the path, my land, and those who are without strength.
Until death absolves me from my duty.
Until death absolves me from my duty.
Thus, you are elevated to keepers of the first sigil. Rise. Now let us all recite the holy words. Thou art my light, my glimmer at the horizon. Thy name is my sacrament, and thy path I will honor, in life as in death. May your light guide me. Leave now, brothers and sisters, and rest. We will need our strength.
And that's it. It feels strange. Yes, kind of. You know, for the past 7 years, I have lived for this moment. And now I'm here. It's peculiar. Anyhow, let's talk when there's something new to talk about. Walk blessed, brother.
Go and get your armor at the Temple's Forge. After that, meet me in the Emporium. There's news. Go and get your armor at the Temple's Forge. After that, meet me in the Emporium. There's news. Of the first sigil, yes. Our masters will teach you. Our smiths will equip you. That is all that I wanted. Ranks. After a novice has passed the trial, he is raised into the first sigil, and over the course of years, if he proves to be worthy, into higher ranks, up to the fourth sigil, which is held by the Truchessa and the Grandmaster, me. Walk blessed.
Walk blessed.
Greetings.
May his light guide you.
Ahoy!
An outlander. What are you doing in this part of the city? Shouldn't you...
Ah, right. The highly debated new keeper. You certainly have caused some uproar, I'll give you that. So, robes, mail, or plate? Fine, here you go. And no matter what you think of all this, wearing this armor is an honor. Get that into your head. Most of us had to wait decades for it. Walk blessed. Sure. You'll have to pay normally, though. As much as the Grandmaster favors you, metal and work don't come for free. Walk blessed.
Now look at that. You are the prophet, aren't you? The prodigy. Delighted to make your acquaintance. Finn and Carbos, of course. Who doesn't know them? An odd duo and completely inseparable. Why do you ask? What? How? How do you know that? I'm Malthus, that's... One tragic event after another. Now listen. This question might seem peculiar, but is there any chance you found amulets on them? The emblems of the apothecary. It's a ritual. Whenever one of our members passes away, their amulet will be put in Soldran's halls, as remembrance, so to speak. They are silver with a violet jewel. Have you found them? Yes, that's them. Thank you. We owe it to them. Here, you've earned this. I'll send a pigeon with the news to the League as soon as possible. With all due respect to your thirst for knowledge, I am not a magister, and I've got my hands full. In a nutshell, we are healers, and our path is to... Our monastery is far to the north, in the Frostcliff Mountain, and in case that doesn't sate your appetite, there are a couple of books about us in the library, or maybe even the Chronicum. I am Torius Flameling, apothecarius by my path. My companion and I work together with the Arcanists here, and we investigate the Red Madness. How may I help you? Aside from the obvious, not much, unfortunately. The most important thing to know is that it's extremely hard to determine if someone is infected with it. Afflicted people show their open madness quite late, and at that point, it's usually too late already. Walk blessed. Well, then you've come to the right place. Walk blessed. Well, then you've come to the right place. Walk blessed.
Of course they have. You know how these bureaucrats are, but they will do it.
Very good. Thanks for your efforts, my friend.
Don't mention it. I just hope you know what you're doing. You know, many see the course the Order has taken since you came back as disquieting. Narazul's mages in the temple, an outlander as a keeper. It's a lot to take in.
I know, Jorik. But someone has to deal with the threat. And if we don't, no one will.
Yes. I suppose you're right.
Transcribe verse 80 100 times. Sky can rain fire. Majesty. It's never change.
Prophet, did you find your way around?
That's beyond me.
Good. It is important that you get adjusted to this place. It will be the base of all operations to come. Right now, we are still in the dark as to the true nature of this cycle. All we have are fragments, but we will change that. There are 2 trails we have found. I want you to go after both of them.
Let's hope he knows what he's doing.
The first one has to do with the stone fragments from Old Rashengrad. Pegast has not yet told you, but all of them together form a so-called sigilled stone, which we urgently need. The Arcanists have already put it together, but we still lack a part of the ritual to activate it. And for that, we need the memory of a dead person. The second trail revolves around a discovery we made in the Heartland. It could be a significant, if not the only prospect we have in this fight. Where do you want to start? It's simple. I've told you that the Pyreans knew about the cycle, and that they too battled it before they vanished. The sigil stone was a magical defense they created to protect themselves from the Red Madness. Through small fragments that segregate once a certain ritual is performed on it. Wear one of these fragments and it will serve you like a shield for your spirit. The stone won't produce enough for all citizens of Ark, but enough for all of us keepers and the guard. The problem is that we lack knowledge about this ritual, and those who have it have been dead for millennia. Correct. The entire plan revolves around a discovery which is exhibited in the Chronicum. The frozen corpse of a Pyrean, which a fisherman found adrift in the Northern Sea some years ago. Yes, the ice prevented his body from decaying. But go to the Chronicum and speak to Archmagister Maragil. He will be able to explain it better than I can. Walk blessed, Prophet.
War on Nerum. War on Kile. Red Madness. What is wrong?
Move along.
You. I heard you passed the trial without going to the novitiate. Congratulations, I guess. The Grand Master must think highly of you.
What?
Now, if it isn't the prodigy, well...
Yes,
Let's hope he knows what he's doing.
This just doesn't make any sense. Why can't it ever be easy?
Prophet?
Walk blessed.
Well, well, Naya, isn't that a sight? The one they all talk about has come to visit us. Greetings, Prophet. I'm Juslan Sharim, and, as you might know already, one of the ever-renowned Neramese mages around here. An unusual name for a half-eterna, but a good one, nevertheless. But anyway, what brings you to me? Do you need anything specific, or do you just want to talk? What, are you asking me to teach you? From what I've heard, you know magic as if you've studied it for centuries. But sure, why not? What do you want to know? Shh, don't talk so loud. You know how our holy friends around here feel about this school. We don't want them to get upset, do we? Sinistra. It's the mightiest of the three schools, but also the most dangerous one. Which is why practicing it is forbidden on every continent of the civilized world, except for Kiran. That is mostly due to the kind of eventualities it interacts with. The human psyche and the forces of life and death. Someone trained in the arts of psionics is capable of forcing his will onto others, and I'm not speaking metaphorically here. An able entropist, on the other hand, can revive the dead as his minions, and channel the energy of death. A stunningly powerful feat if you know what you're doing, and a stunningly suicidal one if you don't. This is also why only 5 of 10 students of Sinistra manage to master it. The other 5s either stop in time or end up as either a driveling lunatic in an asylum, or as a greenishly steaming skeleton. Both of the latter rather undesirable perspectives, if you ask me. So if you plan to use it yourself, just be careful. A thaumaturgist is able to alter his body and his surroundings to his liking. In practice, that means he can, for example, create magical wards between his fingertips, or send bursts of telekinetic energy towards his foes. He can also boost his own bodily capabilities, and even go as far as healing his own wounds, even though that is to be done with caution, since it strains the mind quite a lot. A very noble school, you see, but also very limited. Elementarism. If Sinistra is a Skaragian dagger, and thaumaturgy is a solid broadsword, then elementarism is a giant two-handed warhammer. A good elementarist is able to realize eventualities in which the air around him suddenly bursts into flame, or channel lightning from the sky. A very aggressive and powerful school, as you can imagine. Most arcanists favor it above others. Well observed. I'm a child of the sand, a vassal of the Golden Queen, or whichever other nickname these idiotic people around here have for us. That's a long story, and no offense, one I rather wouldn't share. I'm not a friend of wearing my heart on the sleeve. Suffice to say that I, as most of the Order, have had bad experiences with the reign of the Lightborn. Didn't we, Naya? Someone asks about you, darling. Isn't that charming? Most people are too polite to. But I'm afraid I can't satisfy your curiosity, at least not today. Let's just say that there are more things between life and death than what meets the eye.
I still can't believe that really happened.
What?
You. Good to see you.
Let's hope he knows what he's doing.
Is it now? Remind me not to burst into tears.
Yes.
Yeah, as if.
Oh, hey.
So what's so spectacular about this? To me, our pal here looks like your average crypt corpse.
Well, he isn't. Do you see this marking on his forehead? That's a symbol of the Ashian, one of the two priest castes who reigned over the Pyrean Empire like the Lightborn did over Vin. He was no high priest, but... Let's just hope he participated in the manufacture of this sigil back in the Pyrean era.
Well, hoping can't hurt. But look, we have company.
Dolvarek, Archmagister, how's the situation?
Walk blessed, Grandmaster. We're fine. Everything is ready. So this is him?
Yes, this is the Prophet.
Interesting. Truly interesting. I imagined you to be... different. I'm Lexiel Marigil, Archmagister of the Holy Order. Pleased to make your acquaintance. So, where do we start? Has the Grandmaster already informed you of the goal of this mission? Correct. Now you're wondering, how will this be possible? This is where the Word of the Dead comes into play. An old relic we'll need to find.
The Word of the Dead? I thought that was a legend.
No, it exists. And we also know where. Just so you understand, the Word of the Dead is an artifact that allows entering a deceased person's mind to relive his last memories as if they were your own.
And you want to do just that? Our frozen pal here. This is the grand plan, right?
Right. You'll need to locate the Word of the Dead, teleport the Pyrean's body to you, and then enter his thoughts. And there you'll have to look for the words of the ritual. That's right, but the priest himself did. And according to the legend, this should allow you to understand. Well, we only lack the last words of this ritual. What you have to look for is an ornamental scroll, which looks just like the one on the drawing I'll give you in a moment. All you have to do is remember the glyphs in the scroll, then write them down once you're back in the waking world. True, but we're talking about a different form of magic. It works similarly to the forbidden school of entropy. You're telling me. I myself feel like a myriad in a toad's pond. But alternatively, we'd have to excavate every ruin on Vin and hope that some priest left one of the scrolls behind. Well, this is...
There's an old manor in Enderal's west that belongs to an old collector of artifacts. We received a tip that the word of the dead is in his possession.
Hang on. Are you talking about this odd fellow with the puppets? The aged man from the folk song?
I am. You won't take it. It will be enough to find it. Use it on the Pyrean and then leave. You will travel to the manor with Dalvarek, wait for nightfall, and then introduce yourself to the aged man as a fellow collector of artifacts. Then you will offer him this brooch, and if all goes well, he will offer you a quarter for the night to negotiate in the morning. Then it's all a matter of timing. Sneak out of your room, look for the word of the dead, and teleport the Pyrean to you. A good question, but no. The aged man is special, so to speak. Even the Lightborn ordered us to let him live in peace. The Black Guardian knows why. So, if we have to trick him, we will at least do it inconspicuously, which is why you and the mercenary are well suited for the task. No one will connect your faces to the Holy Order. Then you'll flee. There must be no violence, no matter what happens. Archmagister?
Yes? Well, that is a good point. We don't know, because we don't even know what the artifact looks like. But how goes the saying? The proof of the eating is in the pudding.
We'll manage somehow. And even if we don't, it definitely sounds like an adventure.
It's a great responsibility, be aware of that. But I have faith in both of you. Now get going as soon as you can. This mission will be fruitful. I can feel it.
Whew. And there they go. I thought so too, yeah. But when the offer from the Holy Grand Master came in person, I just couldn't say no. Honestly, the whole thing sounds damn interesting. Travel the memories of a dead Pyrean? I'd do that for free. Plus, you're good company. It was quite a good talk we had back in the Nomad. Yep, just meet me at the Myrids Tower at the Western Cliff. I'll go grab my stuff now.
Hope he knows what he's doing.
Never walked back on the road from the aged man's abode.
Well, well, if it... Prophet?
My Sir Delima. And I felt... well...
Describe verse 18 100 times. The sky can rain fire. That just doesn't ever change.
Yes, the fabled prodigy. I hope you can live up to what they say about you. I really do.
My sir? Huh? Can I help you?
Keep walking.
My sir?
War on Nerum. War on Kile. Bring it back.
Hear my words, O path-abiding people of this holy city.
Mm-hmm.
A miracle has happened. A miracle that must...
What bless it, my sir?
To its sheer glory.
Huh? Yes, you do. Thanks for helping.
Move along.
Walk, bless. Let's see. Doria said you're honest and not afraid to get your hands dirty. And that means something. Well, Gunham said you're all right. I suppose that's as much of a compliment as you can get from him. Old Rogash said you're a path-abiding soul, and he's one of the eldest workers here, so congratulations. That's an impressive result. You seem to be reliable, and we always have use for reliable people. But still, we can use you. You can start as soon as you want to. Yes? Why, of course. Tomorrow you can move into the guild's house, and Mal DeLorean will come to wash your feet. I like you, you know that? You're still so green and honest. That's a rare sight in this trade. If you're after the badge, yes. But you don't seem like the merchant type to me. Well, that's not a problem, however. With the right attitude, maybe you could reach the rank of vassal, or even protector. But that's a long way up. Regard the holy dealings of the sickle, of course. Only a fool would send a caravan through the powder desert without a proper escort, and reliable mercenaries are as rare as a talking Leorin. But that's what vassals and protectors are for. But let's not get carried away, shall we? If you're really planning to get hired as a vassal, you'll need to do more than run a few errands. Well, aren't you eager? But it's your lucky day. There is something. But be warned, you'll have to earn your money this time. Well, that'll need a bit of explaining first. As you may already know, a good merchant doesn't depend only on himself, but also on his suppliers. With the best skinners, nothing without fur. The best bakers, nothing without flour. And that is the problem. Helga Hafner is a farmer who's been producing grain for the sickle for 10 years now. Since 2 moons ago, however, his fields lie fallow. Right. But I need someone who can do it discreetly, which makes you the perfect fit for this task. Hafner doesn't know you, and he must not find out that we sent you. Because we suspect that his fields will stay barren permanently, whatever's causing it. He denies it, but we have to know. And that is your job. Handle it properly, and it won't be to your disadvantage. Kill the contract, of course. A farmer who doesn't deliver is of no worth to us. Well, true words. But that is how the world works, isn't it? You eat or get eaten. That's what I wanted to hear. Do you have a map? Now here, that's where you'll find his farm. And again, stay low.
Now a good pipe of peace. Wait. Why is that stuff so expensive?
Walk blessed. Yes?
Fruits, vegetables, bread fresh from the oven. Treat yourself.
Hello? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Walk blessed, my sir. Of course. A wise decision. Walk blessed.
Rumors circulate.
bread!
In no bed, so...
Malfash's blessing, and our room's looking for you. It's good. We'll open up the room for you. And please, no shady business. We walk the righteous path in here.
You should go
don't
to the
want any
Wizardwood
trouble.
and see what you can
Come
find.
back
near the
anytime.
portal. I'll wait. In the Undercity. My laboratory.
Oh, you're not from around here.
Good evening.
Obvious, my son.
Good evening.
Hello.
Bloody cutthroats.
Monsieur? Good evening. Good evening.
My sir.
Hello. May your path always be easy.
He no bad, so.
Huh? What do you want? Well, that's just how he is, always.
Yes, you should go into the Whisper and see what you can find there.
Huh? Can I help you?
Monsieur?
Walk blessed, friend. Where are you headed? Sure. Where to?
Ah, there you are. Ready to go? Yeah, I did.
So much
Why
to
do you ask?
So little time.
That's a good question. I suppose in the end, it was just a hunch I had. Plus, all these civil wars in other countries didn't exactly invite one to stay. Now, aren't you inquisitive? Let me think. I spent most of my time abroad in Kira, and also a couple of years on the Isles of Kile. And there was this mission that led me to Maiar Aranath once. What am I, a traveling tome? I'm afraid I'm not a very good storyteller. But Kira's great. The people there are so much freer in their way of thinking. There are the great bazaars, the palaces of the merchant lords, and the fortress of the mages' circles. But you just have to see it for yourself someday. Oof. Different. As beautiful as the Isles are, there's always this feeling of rush and competition. Have you ever heard of the game penny? On Kile, it's not a crime if a merchant tries to cheat a customer. It's the customer's fault if he doesn't see the fraud. But if he does, the merchant owes him a token penny. Bizarre, isn't it? But over there, it's common practice. Yeah, it is. I was there with a group of mercenaries. We were hired to get something from a tower in the old capital. Not a nice spot of earth, truly. There's this fog everywhere, and with every step you take, you have to be careful the swamps don't get the better of you. But of course, that's also what makes it exciting. Well, I guess that depends on where you're standing. Of course, times can be tough, especially if you come to a new city or even country where you know nobody. But if you're good at what you do, which I am, there's always work, everywhere. And yeah, I don't eat God's tongue for breakfast, but it was always enough for a roof over my head when I wanted, and some other earthly pleasures. That's what life's all about, isn't it? The scar. Well, let's put it this way. If you one day end up in a Tal Galean tavern and two 6-foot-tall Arazalian women invite you into their room, you should either damn well know who they are or make a run for it. Never heard of it? It's the capital of Araziel. At least if you ask the civilized people. Hands up. Guilty. Some rich snob had hired me back then to bring him a totem from one of the camps of the Free People. That is, the Arazelians who worship their ancestors' gods, instead of the Lightborn, and live as nomads. No idea how much you know about Araziel, but the Free People have been in conflict with the civilized people, who do worship the Lightborn for centuries now. Assassinations, blood feuds, and so on. The usual, if two sides both believe they know it all better.
So much to
Anyway, obviously this job of mine originated from that feud. The totem belonged to a free tribe, and the snob wanted it in order to publicly defile it. So I got it for him. Oh, why, of course. I still cried myself to sleep months after that. Seriously, why should I? Both the free and civilized are so eager to bash each other's heads in. It's not like one defiled totem more or less would have made any difference. Correct. And I was a little drunk and a little lonely, if you get what I mean. Have you ever seen a pure-blooded Arazalian woman in her 20s? It's really hard to say no to that. In any case, as you already noticed, the whole thing went down differently than expected. My face made acquaintances with a table leg and 4 absolutely untender women's feet and hands. And of course the totem was gone, together with all my clothing and money. I guess I had that coming somehow. That's what happens if you ask your loins rather than your head in the wrong situations. Yeah. That's one way to put it. But anyway, how does the saying go? A truly beautiful face can never be tarnished. And that's why you enjoy working with me. Wonderful. Here, this is the place where the aged man's manor is supposed to be. Lead on. I'll follow you. Eager to explore, aren't you? Take your time, I'll wait. I can use a break anyway. Eager to explore, aren't you? Take your time, I'll wait. I can use a break anyway. The puppets the art is about. Huh. Interesting to see what some people consider art. This is where he lives. Huh. This aged man definitely knows how to make himself comfortable. I guess now it's time to wait for nightfall. We wouldn't want this guy to take the artifact, pay for it, and have us leave right away. Alright. I think that's enough. Well, let's see how we can get in there. These busts look interesting.
Yes? What do you want? I'm the servant, so no, I'm not. And if you're looking for charity, you've come to the wrong place. Do you now? So what could two traveling merchants dressed in rags have that might be of interest to my master? This is the silver brooch of a seraph. Where did you get this? Uh-huh. Well then, this changes the situation. You may enter. Plus, forgive my harshness. I misjudged you. Unfortunately, Master Gages is currently playing music, and will be at least until dawn. But you can make yourself comfortable in the guest room. He will to you in the morning.
Okay, that sounds good. Today we wouldn't have made it back to Ark anyway. Just try to get a Myriad Warden to fly in this weather. So, nice house you've got here. So it's just you and your master who live here, right? People talk about him a lot.
But just save the small talk. You're here for business. Good. Now follow me upstairs. I'll show you to your quarters. As I said already, Master Gages will play through the night. My apologies if his music keeps you awake. But if you want a piece of advice, listen. You won't hear anything comparable in all of Vin.
Well, then we'll do just that. So I take it your master's an artist, right? I saw the puppets. They're interesting.
Interesting. Yes, that they are. Master Gages always says art is unique. because it allows us to see what our mind doesn't want us to see.
What's that supposed to mean?
Well, we all have demons inside of us, don't you agree, Miser Dalvaric? Memories, truths about ourselves we've locked away somewhere in our unconscious because we don't want to confront them. True art surpasses all these barriers because it reminds us of who we truly are.
Interesting thought.
All right, here we are. Make yourselves at home. I will inform you once the Master is ready to see you. By the way, call it intuition or premonition, but I somehow had the feeling we would have company tonight, and took the liberty of preparing a small meal. I'm afraid the meat is a little charred, but it should taste good. Now, please excuse me. I have to rest. It is late, and the day has been exhausting.
Of course. Sleep well. And thanks for your hospitality.
You're welcome.
And there he goes. Call me paranoid, but this all went a little too smooth for my liking. Yeah. For example, the fact that he was already standing near the gate when you rang, and that he lives with a man who's older than the Black Guardian, at least according to the legends. But, well, to each his own. Yeah, 1 or 2 hours at least, until this servant's asleep. I've got a skin of wine with me, so if you want we could enjoy it in the meantime. I wouldn't touch this food if I were you. You could tell me about this trial while we're waiting. Or about anything, just distract me from those damn ugly puppets over there. Interesting thought. The thing about the last moment that lasts forever. Did you know that Kyrian mentalists are apparently able to sort of become aware in their dreams? And apparently, in a dream, one can exist free from time. There's a story about an arcanist who spent 1,000 years in a dream while he only slept 8 hours in his waking life. But, well, that's a topic on its own. I think it's late enough for our little excursion now. Let's find that relic. There it is. Master Gaius's music that transcends all barriers. As jolly as this place. We have to find this art. Maybe he's hiding it in some kind of chest or a secret chamber. Let's look around. That looks like some kind of study. Maybe we can find something here.
Yes?
Maybe we should take a look at these bookshelves. They look kind of weird. Now I get it. These books must be part of some kind of mechanism. Have you tried, I don't know, pulling on them or something like that? good. Hey!
Gages, why did you wake me? Are we there yet? Oh, you did? Oh, that's kind of you. But don't worry so much about me, darling. I'll manage somehow. I'm sorry you have to go through all this, really. All this time. I can hardly imagine how hard that must be for you. But I still believe in our dream. I still do.
thought you were dead.
Jakal. He betrayed us. They're all dead.
What?
Yes, but it doesn't matter. We have to get away from here. His armies, they're everywhere, and they're killing everyone. What about Lilanya? Is she alright?
Yes, she's asleep. But where do you want to go? We're... Come on, get inside. We'll talk about it there. Our brother, he's here too. He arrived last night.
Kumar? I thought he was up north.
He was, yes. But he rode back when he heard about the siege. He wants to help defend the city. He will be angry when he finds out that you fled, you know?
Staying would have been suicide. He would understand.
Kumar,
Why are you here?
The Treasure Master betrayed us, and Jakal's troops have gone crazy. They're massacring the entire city. They said we...
I know that, but you didn't answer my question. Why are you here?
Where else should I be, damn it? The High Ones won. They won, and this accursed cleansing will happen, whatever it is. But if there's only the slightest chance that we can make it through, I will use it. Unlike you, I do have someone I need to take care of.
Let's hope she doesn't take after her father. Your cowardice disgusts me, brother. You never understood what it meant to be an Aishin.
I knew that would happen.
He's such a bulldog. For him, there's nothing but his goddamn honor.
At least since he lost Yalek, yes. He won't let us flee. You do realize that, right? He will force you to keep your oath, to stay and fight. To the death.
I will talk to him. We'll do this, sister, somehow.
Yes, of course we will. There's still some stew. I will prepare a bowl for you, alright? You go look after the little one. I think she is slowly beginning to understand what's happening here.
Go and get Eric. We're leaving. Well, isn't that good timing? I have been thinking, and I have decided that I will not let my only brother die as a deserter. We will ride to the city at first light and help with the defense.
That's not going to happen. I told you that. Zura and I will take Lilanya and flee to the north. Come with us or don't, but you will not get in our way. Period.
Period. Thank the highest being that we're family. Just thank God.
Kill them! Kill them all!
Oh! Do some... Parrot, keep them out of here!
Damn it!
Someone's out.
More of them. More of them.
think you can stop us? For every one of us you kill, a dozen more will come.
No, please. I don't want any of this. No one wants any of this. Just let us go. I have a daughter.
So, I hope you slept well. Well, what do you think? I brought you here. After you broke into my sanctum and made your little journey into the realm of the dead. Please, don't look at me like that. I knew what you were up to from the start. Sadly enough, I did. No, you don't. Because you don't dare to question. Peculiar situation, all of this, isn't it? Suddenly you, the fugitive urchin, become mankind's salvation. And suddenly, just like that, out of nowhere, you can perform feats others would require decades to master. Even better, you're one of the emissaries who can hear the echo of the future. But still, you never asked yourself why. You're right, I do. But if there's one thing time has taught me, there are things one has to realize for him or herself. You can't force insight on people. It has never worked, and it never will. Who am I? Back then, I might have given you an impressive response to that. But at this time, I couldn't say anything that would help you. Let's just say, I'm an observer. A fleshless eye, if you prefer. In this era, you might also know me as the Aged Man. Yes, and I'm certain that irritates you. But timelessness isn't that much of a feat. You will find that out yourself, soon enough, too. Amongst other things, yes, the cycle. Believe me, all I say is quite thought through. But unfortunately, there's no point in pursuing this conversation any further. You have what you came for, and the rest is up to you. Even though I doubt it will make much of a difference. Maybe you could do just that, but time will tell. Now, forgive me.
You. But what the heck was that? Where's the manor? Try me. Any explanation's better than none. Uh-huh. That sounds strange, to say the least. After you went down that shaft, someone locked the door to the study, and I couldn't get it open, no matter what I tried. Well, a couple hours later, I found myself face down in a puddle of mud. But anyway, these glyphs you drew on paper look good to me. So at least officially, this mission was a success. I only wish I could... You see that? What's that? Casket? But where's this noise coming from? This is it? But then the aged man left it on purpose. For us. Whew. Maybe I'm jumping to conclusions, but it seems to me as if this fellow knew a lot more than we did from the start. Still, we should take this thing with us. Let's go back to Ark and report to the Grand Master. I've got a scroll right here with me. What do you say? Well then, let's go. Here we are. I suggest you go inside and tell the Grand Master what happened. And give him the casket.
You.
I'll go grab my
How are
pay now,
things?
and then I'll head
You
back
look
to
a
the
little,
tavern. I guess I need a good pipe.
Tense.
For some reason, I can't get these puppets out of my head.
It's nothing.
They remind me of something. Though I don't know what exactly. Anyway, see you around.
Pictures of the first sigil.
Oh, did she now?
Greetings.
Yes.
That will happen my license. Jesus, why is that stuff so expensive?
Prophet, were you successful? Then tell me.
80, 100 times. Sky can rain fire. Magic.
So he knew about the cycle. That's disquieting and interesting. Yes, maybe that's an attempt to help us. He's not against us, because if he were, he wouldn't have let you out alive. I bet that the Lightborn also knew more about the aged man than they told us. This explains why Malphas told the Order specifically not to bother him. But we will discuss his identity another time. What matters is that you were able to find the missing glyphs, and that we now have this relic, however useful it will be in the future. Bring both of them to the Archmagister, so that we can activate the Sigil Stone. Oh, and one more thing. What did the Pyrenes in your memory call those behind the cleansing? The High Ones? Good. Then the enemy has a name now. Come back to me once you've talked to Maragil. Pegast still needs your help. Tell Maragil about the ritual. We need to activate this Sigil Stone.
Jarem dorba nubis, locorem tares. Jarem dorba nubis, locorem tares.
You sound like a boozed-up poet. This is supposed to be magic?
Entropy is a dangerous school, my sir. One false word and the stone could burst into flames.
Well, keep up this babble, and he might do it on purpose. You godlams are just missing the pepper, even when you're doing magic.
Pepper? Magic needs to have prudence, not pepper. She's like a sick frog. If you... Prophet, you're back.
Sun be praised. Working with these fumblers is harder than teaching complex mathematics to a Leor. The Scrounger already told me about your success. Good work. Have you got the glyphs? Yes, just show me already. Yes, that does make sense. Step back, I'll show you how this works. Jarem Dorba Nubis, Locarem Taris Danida, Sharak Lishamra.
By the righteous path. Are you feeling this?
Yes, this is impressive. Truly impressive. Are those the shards?
They're certainly not your underpants, are they? According to the Piraean writings, these shards offered protection against the Red Madness, as long as the Sigil Stone remains active. Prophet, you're the one who found the missing glyphs, so you should go first. Go on, touch one of the shards. So, how do you feel? Very well. Then let's hope that this Sigil Stone lives up to its promise. Boy, go and tell the quartermaster that every keeper, as well as each one of us, is to be wearing one of these fragments by nightfall.
Boy?
Buzz off.
My sir, I really don't think this...
Do what he says, Legion. That is not how you will make friends here, Firespark. Not at all.
If it were friends I was looking for, I certainly wouldn't be here. Once again, good work. Old Aranthiel asked me to give you that, so you could buy better equipment. Now go back to him, and let him tell you about the next mission. It seems that Lishari has once again dug up something that could change everything.
No, this just doesn't make any sense. Why could it ever be easy? Yes.
Pathlessness.
Is it
Wherever you
now?
look.
Remind me
Where is
Burst
this
into
supposed
tears.
to lead? That's beyond me. Let's hope he knows what he's doing.
Hello.
One day, Nea. One day.
There you are. Walk blessed.
Yes.
Well met.
Thy name is my sacrament, and thy path I will honor, in life as in death.
The fabled prodigy. I hope you can live up to what they say about you. I really do.
Monsieur?
Ah, there you are. Glad you made it. Come, follow me. There we are. Wait a second. So, wine or pipe? Termatralian brandy. A real treasure. Consider it a congratulatory gift for passing the trial. Nothing better than a good pipe and a nice sight to go along with it. It's always sad to see how... There we are. Wait a second. So, wine or pipe? Chilean Sweetwater tobacco. 100 times better than what they smoke here. Consider it a congratulatory gift for passing the trial. Nothing better than a good pipe and a nice sight to go along with it. It's always sad to see how few people can truly appreciate these things. Anyway, tell me, my friend, what is it that drives you? I've been asking that myself since we met. I mean, it's not like anyone's forcing you to play errand boy for Orenthiel, is there? And with your abilities, you could make a fortune as a mercenary. Not to mention the danger you put yourself in. Securing the excavation site, passing the trial, they certainly haven't been easy on you so far. Makes sense. In any case, it's interesting to see how you've gotten from being a magically gifted refugee to the center of all this. Kind of reminds me of a woman I used to travel with, Alicia. No matter where she went, she always ended up in the eye of the storm. We got hired for the same job. Usually I work better on my own, but this partnership was refreshing in every aspect. It felt good to know someone's got your back for a change, especially with the kind of work I do. Which is why we decided to stick together after that first job. And it went great, at least initially. She just cared too much, you know? Yeah, she was a mercenary, but she only ever picked the jobs where she thought she could help people, or at least do no damage. As you can imagine, that doesn't always work out in my profession, and whenever it didn't, she really took it to heart. It was sad, if you think about it, really. We traveled together, and we had sex, so yes, according to most people's definition of it, we were a couple. That was, let me think, about 3 years. Yeah, we went to Araziel, Kira, Artwend, and one time we even fought a group of Petrified on Millet. She fought as ardently as she lived. I don't know how I would have survived that fight without her. Oh, several reasons. First of all, she was primarily a traveling healer, and used the money she got from those jobs to sustain herself. Secondly, Alicia wasn't all selflessness. She wanted to help people, yeah, but she also wanted to make experiences, I guess. Live like an eagle, love like a madman, and dream like a god. A bit cheesy, yeah, but that was her credo. Well, we were simply too different. I guess that's what it comes down to. Let's face it, I'm a pathetic white knight, and an even worse world savior. Alicia and I, we were just bound to clash. We were lovers, then friends, then lovers again, and so on and so forth. Ultimately, that was just too much for me. Too extreme. Too absorbing. Love as she defined it, yeah. Had it been for her, we would have married after that first night. That's a long story. Not one that puts me in a favorable light. At least if you're like most people. Let's save that for another time. Split up. Yeah, that's one way to put it. But anyway, enough about me. What about you? Has there ever been someone in your life? Or have you always been the lone wolf? I see. Maybe you can tell me about that one day. I'd love to hear it. I, for one, have had enough drama to last me a lifetime. Sex is fine, but I guess I'm just not naive enough for anything else anymore. Love, love, love. People have such wrong-headed expectations, really. Sometimes I think it would help us all to finally admit that there isn't that much that separates us from the apes. Anyway, why don't you tell me a little more about this trial? I heard you passed it together with that quiet girl, Kalia. What's she like? I've heard some stories about her. That's just life, I think. There comes a point when you've done all you can. My. We've certainly... Lost track of... There we are. Wait a second. So, wine or pipe? Chileans consider it a congratulatory gift for passing the trial. Nothing better than a good pipe and a nice sight to go along with it. It's always sad to see how few people can truly appreciate these things. Anyway, tell me, what is it that, not to mention the danger you put yourself in? Securing the excavation site, passing the trial? They certainly haven't been easy on you so far. So you're taking life as it comes. I like that thought. In any case, it's interesting to see. It kind of reminds me of a... We got hired, which is why she just... As you can imagine, that doesn't always work. We traveled together and we had sex, so... That was... She wanted to help people. Well, we were simply... too different. I guess that's what it comes down to. Let's face it, I'm a pathetic white knight, and an even worse world savior. Alicia and I, we were just bound to clash. We were lovers, then friends, then lovers again, and so on and so forth. Ultimately, that was just too much for me. To love as she defined it, yeah. That's a long story. Split up, but anyway. Enough about me. What about you? Has there ever been someone in your life? Or have you always been the lone wolf? Oh my, is that how you think of me? Can't two good-looking adventurers have a nice chat on a beautiful evening without implications? But jokes aside, I think I know what you're trying to say. And as attractive as you are, I'm afraid I have to pass. Well, I have been interested one time or the other, even though those were rather exceptions. And that's not the reason, really. I don't know. Maybe the entire thing with Lycia was enough for me. Sex is fine, but I guess I'm just not naive enough for anything. Love, love, love. People have such lofty expectations these days, really. Sometimes I think it would help us all to admit that there isn't that much that separates us from the apes. You say what's on your mind, I'll give you that. But as attractive as you are, it just wouldn't feel right. I don't know why. Now, come on. Let's not make this unnecessarily awkward, shall we? We're here, we're having a good talk. Isn't that enough for the moment? Why don't you tell me a little more about this trial? I heard you passed it together with that quiet girl, Kalia. What's she like? I've heard some stories about her. That's just life, I think. There comes a point when you've done all you can. My. We've certainly lost track of time, haven't we? I really need to hit the hay for a couple hours now. I'll have to go look for some new work tomorrow. And I've heard about a nobleman who's looking for a sellsword. That is, if Arenthiel or old Bushybeard doesn't have a new job for me by then. Say what you want about them. Their pay is beyond generous. I'll see you around, my friend.
Sir? Yes?
Huh?
Sir? Yes?
You're a foreigner, aren't you? I wish I'd have crossed the Red Sea once, or seen Kira.
Walk blessed.
Walk blessed.
Yes.
Move along.
Oh, you're an Eterna, aren't you? Your ears.
This feeling just now. That was the sigil stone, wasn't it? Very well. That only leaves us with Pegast's excavation. Are you ready? I'll make it short. We assume that in the last cycle, the Pyreans worked on a machine which they hoped would save them from the cleansing. An old artifact which they tried to put back together. Well, we do know that the cycle is not an ordinary threat. It functions in a way we have not even come close to comprehending, almost like a cosmic force. This makes it naive to believe one could face this threat like a foe made of flesh and blood. Maybe, however, this machine can. As I said, the Pyreans didn't invent this machine. They merely reconstructed it from old plans they found somewhere. And if they thought this idea was worth pursuing, we should at least look into it. Pegast found an old ruin named Old Dothelgrad, which seemed to be some kind of laboratory of the Dilgar, one of the ruling castes in the Pyrean era. She assumes that we might find hints about this machine there, or maybe even a prototype. I want you to help her in any way possible. Maybe your gift can reveal things normal eyes can't see. Yes, because they never had a chance to finish it. The Pyrean realm was in a constant state of war shortly before the cleansing, just like Vin has been for the past few years. And even if the machine does not work, any knowledge we can get from their struggle against the cycle is crucial. They were the two different castes who ruled the Pyrean realm. Officially, they were servants of their highest being, the deity all of Pyrea worshipped, but everyone knew that it was the castes who had the power. And while the Ishian valued tradition, the Dilgar valued progress, which, as you can imagine, led to differences between the two, to say the least. They were the Lightborn of the Pyrean era, you could say. It's in a remote section of the Heartland. Keeper Sakaresh will accompany you there and show you the way. Good luck.
Ah, there you are. The Grandmaster already briefed me on our mission. Shall we go? Why do you ask? Does it bother you? Yes, that's true. To answer your question, I don't know. I assume I am accompanying you because we both did the trial together, but as to why you are assigned to such a crucial mission is beyond me. It seems the Grandmaster really does believe in your role as a prophet, whatever that may mean. But anyway, I suggest we save these questions for later. For now, yes, the ruin isn't far from here. Just meet me at the Myrids Tower in the Northern Heartland. I will wait for you there once I've finished my preparations.
My sir.
Walk blessed, my sir.
Walk blessed.
So, you actually made it, Prodigy. Congratulations. Even though I'm not sure everyone is as glad about that. Well, I suppose you could say that, yes. Natara, Tealor, and I passed our novitiate together. You make it sound as if the Order is some kind of mercenary guild. You don't join the Order, you're chosen for it. Both Heranthiel and I come from a bloodline older than the stones of this temple. It was our path to become keepers, and we followed it. It wasn't much of a choice. That's a different story, and not one for today. Should I? I don't know if you deserve to be here. Sakaresh does. She has proven it for close to 10 years now. But you, maybe there is something to the Grand Master's talk about you being one of these emissaries, and maybe you can indeed help us in some way. But you're still an outsider. No matter which crest you wear on your armor, that won't change.
Ahoy!
Places the swords. I have to remember that. Sure. You'll have to pay normally, though. As much as the Grandmaster favors you, metal and work don't come for free. Walk blessed.
Well, then you've come to the right place. Well, then you've come to the right place. Walk blessed.
So, you actually made it, Prodigy.
Yes? Walk blessed, friend. Sure. Where to?
No. Now you listen to me. I'm sick of your fucking lies. Sick of you pretending to give a shit about me whenever it's convenient. Sending a cell sword after me. Really, Milbert? How low can you go? How low can you go?
But... By Malthus, you! Please, you have to help me. She's completely lost her mind. It's the dust. She's not herself.
But you know what? It's too late now. You won't save him. Or maybe you will. But only over my dead body. I have nothing to lose anymore. Not that I ever had much to begin with. Am I? Well, it doesn't feel like that. If it's the fucking dust, then I guess I should be grateful.
Fuck the money! I've told you how he treated me since those raiders came for us. Yes, he pays for my room, but do you think he ever came to me in all those years? Or asked me how I was? Fuck it! I'm a goddamn mess, and I know it. But it's his fault because he was never there for me. Not when our parents died. Not when the dust took me. Never! Before he sent you to get the key, he asked me himself. And that was the first time I'd seen him in years. But no. This wasn't about me. This was about his goddamn business and the money Father left for the two of us. He wanted it for himself. Just like he always has.
Oh, believe me, it will. I'd do it just to see that fucking smile wiped off his face.
Make me.
She's dead. Oh God's help. What's happened? The key. Quick, get me out of here. Thank you. By the name of the sun, the drugs did this to her. This goddamn dust. What? No, she rationalizes. Ever since she took her first sniff, she has changed and started to blame me for all her misery. Believe me, my friend, I did try. But the more I wanted to help her, the more she started to push me away. What happened to our family? It broke us both. Only that I managed to get back up again, and she didn't. I guess that's what it adds up to. Good question. I suppose at first you get your reward. Without you, I wouldn't be alive now. Here, you can take this key. It's to another slot in the bank's treasury. You can take whatever's in there. I owe you this, at least. And while I feel ridiculous to bring that up now, I promised you another book, didn't I? Which one do you want? Fine, here. Now, give me some time, will you? Celia, she was a shadow of herself, but she was still my sister. I want to say goodbye properly. You. Do you need something? I need some time for myself.